I sold 2.5 million in 1 year and I was able to take care of our family.
My fastest sales are like when I'm shaking hands in person with people.
I've already lost it all. What's going to hurt to just keep showing up consistently, being relentless in this dream that I have?
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Revenue Rascals. I am so excited to have Raymer on today's show, and she is with Picture This Travel, and we're going to break down how she scaled her travel agency business. But listen, this is the cool part. I don't know very many people that can do this. She has 100 plus 5 stars on Google. So we're going to talk about how she was able to do that, how she got in front of the right people, the business of travel agency, and we're going to have some fun. So let's welcome Raymer.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michelle. I'm so excited to talk to you today about, hopefully we can talk all things travel. It's always so much fun.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I am really excited to talk with you. So before we kick off, I want to know, what does my audience need to know about you that is unique or different or fun so that they always remember you after the show?
Okay, I would always be down for getting an old fashioned with anyone if you have not drank bourbon, not whiskey, bourbon. I'm from Kentucky. There is a difference. Wearing my Kentucky blue today. So definitely I would love to sit down with anybody, have an old fashioned. That's probably my favorite. But bourbon is like my heart. I love it so much. I grew up in Lexington and it's just everything.
I love it. Okay, so I love an old fashioned. So we're already so much alike. And we have a distillery out here. I live in Park City, Utah, called High West Distillery. And it was, there's a lot of crazy alcohol laws in Utah. And they were the first ones that broke through to create. They have bourbon, they have whiskey, all the things. Okay, so I'm going to admit something to you on my own podcast right now that is kind of embarrassing. For the life of me, I cannot remember the difference between whiskey and bourbon. So I feel like you need to tell us all right now. This is
really
very important.
Okay. I feel like people from Kentucky are a little bit biased because we say only bourbon can be made in Kentucky because we have specific limestone and the water has to flow through the limestone in Kentucky in order to create bourbon. So I think some people will call other things bourbon, but that's what Kentuckians say. You can totally debunk that, I'm sure, somewhere. But that's the Kentucky reason that we say only bourbon is in Kentucky. It's in our rocks. So
on my own travel bucket list is to do a bourbon tour in Kentucky.
100. Please literally call me and I will do it with you.
I'm like, sign me up. And so my mom and her friends are actually going out there in a couple months, and they're doing it. And I was like, I didn't get invited. This is so
That's
rude.
really rude. Yeah.
I know, right? So anyway, I'm coming out to see you, Allie. Okay.
Let's do it.
So let's talk about the travel business. So before we started recording today, everybody, I specifically wanted Allie to come on this show because I've always been curious about this business model. Now, people might be thinking, Michelle, why do you care? You talk a lot of corporate business and all these other things. And I'm going to tell you right now, one is everybody listening to this podcast needs a vacation. Okay. I'm going to tell you that right now. So everybody listen up to Allie because it's commission only and they do all the work. Okay. Number 2 is I am a millennial. I'm an elder millennial, and all of my friends who are in the same age as I am are now starting to think about what is the next thing in my life? Do I really want to keep the 9-to-5 grind? Do I want to keep owning this online business that is so stressful and you're not only selling, but you're fulfilling, you're onboarding, you're doing all these things, or is there other things out there? And I'm just going to speak to the elephant in the room that we talked about before we even hit record, is so many people look at travel agency businesses as just another MLM, right? That's the way it's going to go and yada, yada. And all they care about is recruitment, not the actual experience. And, I'm here to debunk that with you because I know it's not true. So let's just kick off right there with the differences of the business models of travel agencies so that everybody listening right now keeps listening because there are opportunities out there that are not MLM related.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think that that's a great question because there are agencies out there that I think tend to lean that way. I do think that if you are interviewing advisors, definitely ask who they work for, how long they've been in the industry, ask them about their own travels. You should definitely be interviewing your travel advisor because those MLMs do exist. I think more cases than not. We are not MLM-y, but we do run. Most of us are home-based agents. We work for large consortiums, large host agencies. I was in, working out of my home long before COVID. So I was always used to this. There's not a lot of brick and mortars anymore. People don't go into a brick and mortar travel agency and say, hey, book this, because let's be honest, you don't have to. You have Expedia, you have Booking, you can just do it yourself online. What we're really about is servicing people and being able to be advisors. So we're not really, I would listen closely to the language that you're seeing people promote. If someone is saying they're a travel agent, honestly, I would be a little leery. I would really get into, are they a travel advisor? Are they listening to their clients? Are they helping them navigate difficult situations? Are they helping bring knowledge to them? Are they educating? That's really what I am. Sometimes I consider myself a marriage counselor, family counselor, because vacations are really important decisions, and, people are investing their time and their money. And that's really what it comes down to. So yeah, my agency, we're a small boutique agency and we have seen a lot of growth. I'll be honest, before COVID, it was 5 or 6 of us, and now there's about 30 at our agency. And we have grown mostly because of the demand, but I do have a team under me that I recruited that I'm sure we'll get into talking about a little bit today. But for us, it's really about mentorship, because travel agents, unlike realtors, we don't have a individual license. So that's something definitely that we learn on the job and we learn from our mentors. So it's kind of like that structure. So that's why we have the structure that we do, we all earn commissions, and the people under me, it's a commission split. I have a commission split with my owners. But really that comes down to the mentorship that we offer, because the industry is like drinking out of a fire hose. It's a lot to learn. So.
Oh, so that's a really, really great explanation of the difference. Is like, imagine like we're a real estate brokerage firm and we have all of our agents underneath us. I love that. And that's very normal business practice. And you, Allie, should benefit from mentoring the people underneath you and sharing in commission, just like when I'm a CRO in a large organization, I make money when my team makes money. So there is a pure approach to this. I'm curious, when it comes to recruiting team members for you, and I really, really liked how you broke up the agent versus advisor, because I would assume the agent is like, cool, I have a contract with Disney and this one hotel. And so I'm going to put everyone in this one hotel because this is the contract and this is just what I do. Correct?
Right. Yes.
Okay, awesome. So then the advisor is more like, let's just use this Kentucky bourbon tour as an example, because it's like on my list.
Yeah.
So I come to you and I say, hey, 4 couples, we're all coming. These are like, where do we start? And then you would go down and start to ask me what I care about and what I like.
Absolutely. So I'm really interviewing you. When I get on that consult call, I'm interviewing you and figuring out, okay, what do you value? What kind of vision do you have for this experience? When you say, I love a great hotel, that can mean very different things. When you say I'm a foodie, that can mean very different things, So I really do try to listen between the lines a little bit too. So especially if I'm on the call, you say, oh, it's 4 couples. Maybe I'm on the call with, a husband and wife or something, and they're saying 2 different things, which can sometimes happen. So yeah, I'm really navigating that and understanding the vision. And of course, the budget, that's part of it too, is the price point that people want to spend. Because I always joke and tell people, like, there is no set cost with travel. I service all kinds. Okay. I have seen people spend 6 figures on one trip. So I service all kinds. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I always joke with people and say there's no set cost. You can travel by Greyhound or you can fly private. So this really is based on the investment that you have in mind for your trip.
Yeah, I love that. So when you're looking to build your team, then they need to communicate and care the same way that you do. So talk to me like a little bit about, I have a lot of listeners right now that have very high pressure, very stressful jobs. And so like I said in the beginning, some of them may be considering like, what do I do in the second stage of my life? So talk to me a little bit about like becoming a travel advisor. Talk to me about like the path, the income potential. Like would love to hear about that.
Oh, yeah. So really, there's a lot of different paths. I think that so many people come to this industry in many different ways. I personally came to it. I used to be a high school English teacher. I was recruiting high school students to go on trips, and I was actually selling quite a bit, even though I worked at like a federally funded school. And I was taking kids to Europe. It was honestly a blast. It was in a different season of my life, and it was so much fun. I got to travel all over with them. And my husband's aunt, at the time, she owned her own travel agency, and she was like, "Allie, you are like selling travel to people with no money, but people have money, and like you could make money, instead of just traveling for free." And so that's how I entered the industry. I think there's so many different ways to do it. I think the key is definitely to make sure you choose a mentor that can just pour into you. I literally every summer, because I was a teacher, I had summers off, I would sit at her kitchen table and listen. I don't have a marketing background. I don't have a sales background, but I would just listen to those calls, and she would pass off leads, and I would work through the different processes. So having a mentor that is really willing to sit down with you and show you the ropes and take you through the processes and just really help you think through things, because there's a million ways to do this business. Like, it's one of the most exciting industries because it's constantly growing, and there is an avenue and a niche for every kind of person. It is mind-boggling. Like my first retreat or my first convention I ever went to, it was with Travel Leaders, which is our consortium, and I went and I met a woman. She was, probably in her late 60s. She's been in the business a long time. And my boss was like, "You should go talk to her, like what she does and how she has built her business." And I sat down with her and I was like, "So I want to hear, like, how'd you build your business?" She was like, "I do quilting conventions, quilting cruises. That's it. That is literally," and she sold millions a year in quilting conventions and quilting cruises.
A niche.
It's a niche. And she went in, you know what I mean? And I'm like, but that's what's so cool about this industry is there's literally something for everyone, because travel is all over the world. It's so many different styles. So yeah, I think there's a place in this industry for a wide variety of people.
Okay, so I'm going to recap what I just heard, because I think I'm going to take out some really important pieces of it. So what you love is probably a vacation. So like, for example, that woman probably loved quilting. And she was going to all these quilting conventions, and her friends are like, "I want to come to the quilting convention," right? It was probably something so natural. And then she realized, like, wow, this is so fun. Oh, and quick throwback, I sold high school and college spring break and graduation trips was my first sales job.
Stop.
Like back in the day. Yeah,
so fun.
Yeah.
Yay.
It was
That's
so
a fun
fun.
little connection.
Yeah, I remember taking friends in college to spring break in Mexico, and I was so convincing and so good at it that even my friends who didn't drink alcohol came with. And I was like,
that's
if
impressive.
I can get sober friends to go to Mexico, then
what can I not sell? Yeah. That's awesome. I love that.
Okay. So what I want people to think about right now is like what you love. And we're going to use my life example because I like this show to feel like it's tangible and you can take action if you want to. So for me, something I am obsessed in that I could automatically see like something I would love doing is I'm obsessed with what I would categorize as ranch hospitality. Okay. So I live in Park City, Utah. It's a huge Western community. My daughter and I both are getting into the rodeo world. She had her first barrel race this past weekend.
So fun.
Yeah, it is. Like my biggest problem with life right now is how to keep my nails clean. So like that is... That is my biggest frustration right now. Yeah. So I feel like I need to invent something. But anyway, when you're on a ranch all day, but it's not just me. Every time I open up Instagram, and granted, the algorithm's probably supporting me right now, it's like all of these large landowners or ranchers or farmers are now opening up their property for experiences. And I think why this is happening is, especially like my generation, we have worked so hard. We're some of the hardest workers of any generation. We have burnt the candle at both ends. We're taking care of children and aging parents. We have very high stress, we're in the peak of our careers. And sometimes all we want to do is just calm down and get grounded. And that's why I got back into horses as an adult was I was like, I need to ground myself. So talk to me about the ranch hospitality industry and what you're seeing, because I feel like it's a hot market right now.
It's definitely a hot market. I would say that this trend of, it's interesting how luxury can take on so many different looks, but this idea of having, a rooted, grounded, natural trip can be luxurious because it's quiet and it's disconnected. And something about that feels like luxury to us who are like constantly bombarded with all the things. That feels luxurious. Even though you're getting your hands dirty, it feels luxurious. So that's definitely a huge market right now. It also makes me think about too, the fact that we're starting to see this in the US because there's so much of this experiential travel that's happening in Europe. So people are going to Europe, when we were in Italy, we spent a month there and we would go do like agriturismo experiences. And I'm like, this is so cool, but like we could do this in the US too, but people aren't necessarily capitalizing on that. But like you said, sometimes I think the tides are starting to turn because they're seeing this need for people to get back to, I don't know, natural, like what's real, like reality in a sense. And I know I experienced that in Europe so many different times. I was just in the UK. I went to Wales. Oh my God. Wales is stunning, like literally so beautiful. And I kind of felt that way. I was like, I'm like petting a sheep and I'm like in this green pasture and there's like rock walls everywhere and like rolling hills. And I was by myself. I was traveling by myself with some other agents. I wasn't having to be mom or wife. And it was like so, I felt like I came back to myself again. So I think that this happens, in the ranch culture for sure. We're definitely seeing requests for that of people wanting to, I don't know. We grew up on City Slickers. You said you're an elder millennial. Like I grew up watching that. Slickers. Okay, but like it's kind of a thing, Like people are definitely requesting that. And I think that that's like growing a lot. So I think we saw it, in like the European market first, and now people are like, oh, we can do this here in the US as well. So
City Slickers is the best thing to bring up right now.
Oh my gosh. I don't know why.
It's so good. I could watch that movie like 20 times.
Agreed. Totally agree.
So I have a lot of clients that are locally based in like the greater northern Utah area, which I love because I grew the first 10 years of my business. I never even met anyone that I worked with because I was so global. It was all like, just like this over Zoom or Riverside or whatever. And so I'm really enjoying this. And I have an outfitter as a client right now. So we're selling packing trips, which is where you pack on horse and donkey and you go into the middle of nowhere, you fish, you do all these cool things. And then everyone's pulling their tags for hunting season right now. So anything you can hunt that you have a tag for, like the outfitter that I'm helping has a license everywhere. So right now, those are like the two things that I'm pushing right now for them. And we have by the way, the easiest thing in the world to sell is summer camp for kids on horses. I mean, let me just tell you, because we did that. And that was like sellout. So
summer camps are stressful. Yeah. My kid has like 20 days of school left. And I'm like, what am I going to do with him?
Well, if you live closer,
I would buy any summer camp at this point.
Yes. This is just how it is. But anyway, so I want you to help me with something right now. Okay. So I'm going to be advertising these pack trips and these hunting trips. So you as an advisor, where would you go to even find those availabilities? Because I want to go there and start to advertise.
Ooh, interesting. So like you're actually wanting to find the clients themselves, you think, that would purchase this?
Like websites. So there's a couple of websites like where you can advertise if you offer hunting trips, for example. It's like marketplaces. So people can go there and be like, oh, I want an experience with a horse. I'll click there. Or I want to go hunting. I'll click there. So I'm curious, my question is, do you also go to these websites to find things to start to match for your clients?
Yes,
or
for sure.
Okay. So tell me, where do I need to be helping this client get out there so people like you can find the trips?
Okay, 2 places. So first of all, I would say a DMC, so a destination management company. Again, these are more common in Europe, Africa, other continents than the US. Side note, I really want to make my own Kentucky DMC one day because the Bourbon Trail is so like popular. Anyway, side note, other conversation.
You can experiment with me on that one. Right. You just let me know and I'll come to the Bourbon Trail.
But I feel we could test it out. But I feel like a DMC, there are some DMCs, especially out west, because I think out out west feels foreign to a lot of people east of the Mississippi. It feels like another planet kind of, and it feels very hard to plan travel there. So there are a lot of DMCs out west. I can actually connect you with a couple that I work with, and those destinations. Yeah, she's great. I have a perfect one for you. So they would be great because they work with travel advisors, and they're really like the connector. Like they're bringing all the pieces together to make it just like super seamless. So you might have like one component of it, but then they have the air, the hotel, this other tour, this food tour, this driver, and they kind of bring it all together. So the DMC for sure, again, there's not a ton of DMCs in the US like there are other places, but I think that it's growing. Like I think people are seeing how other countries are doing it.
I love it. That's a great suggestion.
Yeah, they work with tourism boards as well. So that's kind of a nice, I don't know, like tourism boards are hit or miss, I think, honestly, but the DMCs work with them too. And then the other one would be companies like, I'm going to totally plug my favorite tour operator. I love them so much. So it's Project Expedition. They are absolutely fantastic. I'm actually their number one seller in the country. I sell more Project Expedition tours than any agent in the US. I love them so much, but they really do a great job of vetting. So they interview and they vet and they make sure. So imagine, I'm sure everybody's heard of Viator. Or Viator, however you want to say it.
Yes, I have. Yeah, yes,
okay.
Yes.
Or like Get Your Guide, TripAdvisor, those kind of things. But I'll be honest, like they're not vetted at all. So, and they're just like mass, like they're out to the masses. And then like they don't really vet and like make sure that the product is quality. Whereas Project Expedition, they are fabulous. They vet everything. They have such an amazing support staff. And then travel advisors can book for their clients. We also have things where clients can book directly with Project Expedition. And they do a really great job. Like they do promote you. So they actually like say, okay, here's the tour company. This is a little bit about them. So you're not just booking it blind and you don't really know who you're working with. But yeah, Project Expedition is my absolute favorite. If any client of mine has ever done any tour or experience, it's most likely been with a DMC in destination, or it's been with Project Expedition.
Fantastic. Now I know what I need to do this week to get those trips.
Yes.
Up, so.
And I'm like really good friends with the founder of Project Expedition. So you just let me know and we'll find a way. I am letting
you know. Please make an introduction. But like, this is why I love this podcast. It's like, it's funny because I know a lot of things about a lot of things, and I'm really good at really growing any type of business. But what I think some people get wrong is they just think that I already know everything every single time I take on a client. But when I take on a new client in a new niche, these are all the conversations I have. Like I'll probably have 30 or 40 of these. And then guess what? I'm going to be really, really good at selling packing trips and hunting trips.
I love it.
For everybody listening right now, like, and especially if you're thinking like, oh, wow, I love to travel. I want to learn about this. Maybe this is a good path for me. Like, what are you passionate about? And also with a good mentor, you don't need to have all of the answers right away. So Allie, talk to me a little bit about like financially, if somebody was like, yeah, maybe I'll play around with this. Do I have to go all in full time? Can I do it part time? Like, what is a good plan for people to build a business doing something they love, like traveling? Like, what is life like that really look like?
Yeah, I would say for most people, again, a lot of people do this business in many different ways. So this is one answer, but I would say most people that I know in the industry, they probably started out part-time, pairing this with something else that, could bring in consistent income, because we are commission-based and we do not get paid until after people travel. So travel is one of those things, unlike real estate. Okay, if I were a realtor and I sold this house, within 30 days or 45 days, I'm probably getting my commission check. But with travel, I could be planning trips, bucket list trips, an African safari a year out. Like I'm not getting paid on that until April 2027, so it's like kind of one of those things of you need to just have something, and maybe, your financial situation at home, maybe you are not the breadwinner, and you don't have to be. This is more of like your fun income. That would be a great scenario as well. So then you could just really build into this. That would be nice. But yeah, I would say most people start out part-time and then they just build up their book of business with enough repeats and referrals to actually sustain them. I mean, I was able to do that even after COVID. So obviously COVID took out my business, did not have that. So I did have to go back and teach for 1 year. But then from there, The year that I had my daughter, my husband actually stayed home because I was the breadwinner. So I was able to, I sold 2.5 million in 1 year, and I was able to take care of our family as the sole breadwinner. So it's very possible.
You can't just like skim over that. Like, let's go backwards.
I have a very gracious husband as well.
Okay,
Who decided to be a stay-at-home dad.
Okay, this is what we're going to talk about right now. I want to know how you built your business. Clearly, COVID took everything like this out. But what a gritty lady to just go back and teach and just do what you had to do and then rebuild your business. So let's just take a hot beat right there and dive deep into that, because that is a really beautiful story that I think we need to spend a few minutes on.
Yeah, it was grit. Gosh, yeah, that was definitely what I experienced. So the year of COVID, I had just had my son. He was a newborn, and I was canceling all those trips and feeding a newborn, and like, what have I done? I quit my teaching job. That was just a normal paycheck. And I literally made nothing that year. I went back and taught for a year, juggled all the things. Travel came back stronger than ever because, we were told we couldn't travel. So then we saw revenge travel occur. And in that swing, pretty soon after that, I also found out I was pregnant with my second kid. So I was like, wow, I've got a family and this is insane. And what am I going to do? So I really dialed in, honestly. And I was like, I am putting all the chips in on this. I'm going to bet on myself. And my husband believed in me too, which was so amazing to have that support. He comes from a marketing background, and I think he just saw the potential there. So yeah, it was an amazing experience, but I did have to essentially start from scratch after COVID and really build up my brand, really build up my niche, and find my people and just keep speaking over and over again to those people until they found me.
Wait, let's talk about that. So how did you, I know word of mouth, referrals, I mean, those are real obvious things and they're really strong things and everyone should be doing them. But I'm curious, did you use social media at all? Like what levers did you pull to get that to happen?
Yeah, I would say for me, social media was a great one because everyone was on social media in that time post-COVID, and just really making sure that I was clear with my branding and marketing of who I serviced, and just speaking into that daily. So I did that every single day. It was such like Instagram to me just felt really easy, and it was an easy way to show up every day, and it's free. Like social media is free. Like I just keep coming back to that. I'm like, if we're not marketing on social media, I like don't know what we're doing. And travel is really fun too. So everybody wants to talk about it. And then I would say also, this is like such a simple thing, but it really opened up a lot of doors for me. I joined a local gym that was actually kind of bougie. I still go there, but like it was really bougie for me at the time to join this gym. It was kind of like a high-end gym, but I knew like all the movers and shakers in my community were working out there every day. And I thought, if I can show up every day at 6 a.m. and they see me there every day at 6 a.m., working my butt off, in the gym, they're going to know what kind of person I am. And that could open up some doors because they were like all the people in the community that were, like the CEOs, were all working out. They were mostly working out at 5 a.m. I can't get up that early, but I would still see them, in passing. And honestly, like that opened up so many doors for me. A few of those people really saw my work ethic and they believed in me and they said yes to me. It literally gives me chills. And those people in the community that were influential opened up doors for me. But I think it just took like one simple, like, okay, I'm going to go to this gym I can't afford and be around people every single day that might see my ethic. So that helped a lot.
Oh my gosh. I love that so much. I'm also at the gym by that time as well. And it's a different breed of people at 6 a.m. than it is any other time. I forget what it was. I had like a late night, like maybe a few weeks ago. So I ended up going to the gym during lunch instead of 6 a.m. And I'm like, I felt like a fish out of water. I was like, who are these people?
Who are these people?
Why are
like
they
you guys
doing
are having a great
things?
time. Yeah, but this is very different than 6 a.m.
I know 6 a.m. is like grinding, heavy lifting, little bit like you talk, but it's not as like chitty chatty. It's like so funny. But But you're right. It's like, I know who my people are because they're at the gym at 6 a.m. And you just have like this identity with 6 a.m. people. And then you lock arms and you help each other. Like I remember I went to the gym one morning and like we had an incident in the house that needed to get fixed, like restoration. And I remembered one of my gym buddies owns a restoration company. And I was like, oh my gosh, I literally walked in and I'm like, you're my people. And he's like, I'll get someone there by 9 a.m. And I'm like, this is great. So I think what's really important here is we can't lose sight of that we are all still in human business. Like everything with AI and social media and virtual, like for me, for my personal brand, I have found people this way. I have gotten clients this way. But I will tell you, my fastest sales are like when I'm shaking hands in person with people. The trust recession we're in right now too. When people can just see your face and shake your hand, it is so effective. But then they go online to your social media or mine and they're like, oh yeah, they're real. They know what they're doing, right? So it's like your 24-hour reinforcement behind you that you're legitimate. And so that's been my own strategy. So I'm actually really happy to hear that that's how you were able to grow it. When you bring in like a new mentee, so if you were to have a new team member start tomorrow, I'm curious, like what advice do you give them to start to build those relationships and find clients that are equally as unique as joining a gym?
Yeah. So I would say, when I was scaling, I was about to have my daughter, and one thing that I invested in was actually creating a onboarding system. And so I made all these videos and like made all these, things. So it was I'm almost a teacher. So I was like, okay, I need to make this like, an online classroom, And so I had this idea, but then I was like, that's scalable. So anytime I bring somebody new in, that's like step one, right? So they're watching through these videos and doing these like little lessons and things like that and having one-on-ones with me. But I would say really, as they go through that, some of the things that I talked to them about on that onboarding series is really thinking about either the niche that you really want to sell or the audience that you want to speak to and going in that direction and finding your people that way, like thinking about where those people hang out and what they spend time doing. If I have someone who comes on and they're like, gosh, I'm one of my newer girls, she's way more into like adventure, outdoorsy kind of things. I'm not a camper. But like she would be totally into that. And that's like a thing, Yeah. Like it's totally, me. Yeah, it's totally an industry, part of the industry.
I would spend extra money to not be in a luxury hotel.
Right. So I'm so impressed by you. Like literally, that's amazing. I would never do that, but amazing. Oh, yeah. So like I brought her in and I was like, okay, so think about the kind of people that you all, that you're the niche that you want to sell. It's adventure. Okay. Well, what kind of people are those? Where are they spending their time? Are they like, I don't know, rock climbing or at the national parks or, like where are they going and really thinking about where they are spending their time. Whereas like my lady I brought on that does ocean cruises, like she could go on YouTube and literally make YouTube videos because the boomers be loving some YouTube videos and she could sell ocean cruises all day on YouTube, So it's just kind of like wild. I think you have to go in one of two directions in this industry, which is really with a lot of things, but you like picking something you love to sell or picking the kind of people you want to sell to. So
yes. And that's just good general business advice, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's not like, anything mind altering or whatever, but it's just practical.
But I like the way you made it really simple is like either sell something you love or sell to people you love, one or the other. And also please make sure they have money. That's always my advice. Like, please don't pick a broke niche. You're just but some people, like I have helped so many people start businesses. And sometimes when they come with their ideas, I'm like, so you're going to create the demand because there is no demand because that group has no money. Then when you create the demand, then you're going to have a really hard time selling because you have to convince people to spend money that they don't have. So do you want to take a hot beat here?
Yep. Well, that's why I think right now the word luxury is being overused in travel. Honestly, is because people are thinking I need to sell luxury because those are the people with money. But it is kind of interesting too. You kind of have to navigate that because luxury is super overused right now in this industry.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. And I also feel like I mean, our income level is definitely like upper class, right? We have 2 great incomes. We live in Park City. Like, I'm the target for this stuff, right? And for me, what I want to spend money on right now is actually very different than I wouldn't be attracted to the word luxury. I would be like, oh, cool. We're going to go in the middle of somewhere on horses and pack in. And then, oh, my kids are going to learn actual real life skills, like how to start a fire or something. Okay. Like, I'm willing to pay. I'm like, I literally want to go take a welding class with my friends. I'm like, these are the things.
The experiential, which is so hot right now too. Yeah. I think you're like one of the two. You're either like heavy experiential or heavy like luxury. Yeah. I love that.
And so it's just funny because it's like, so lessons here, people, you don't have to use the word luxury.
You really
it doesn't need to be overplayed, right?
Right.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So talk to me about a trip that you're planning right now that you're really excited about.
Oh, that's fun. Okay. I actually just posted on my Instagram last week that I built my favorite Italy proposal I've done all year. And I do a lot of Italy. It is like my number one. I do love Italy, but they can kind of get a little redundant building trip after trip. But these clients, they're doing Italy for the first time. They've never been to Europe. They're spending their 20th anniversary and they're going in October, which I love. And they're experiential people. Like, they don't really care as much about the luxury hotel. They want something nice. It's their anniversary, but it doesn't have to be 5-star. And they really want to go heavy on adventure and experiences. And they're not wine drinkers.
Oh,
which is so interesting in Italy.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, how am I going to navigate this? But I just built a really fun itinerary. They're starting in Rome, doing a couple of the historical things, but also incorporating a ton of culinary experiences. So cooking classes, food tours, those kinds of things. And then we're working our way up through Tuscany. And then the kicker, is the Dolomites in the fall. Because talk about fall foliage, you're going to get that in the mountains in the Dolomites. They love to hike. They're going to be able to have their own car, drive around, lakes. It's going to be literally perfect. And the hotel has a nice little spa. So if they want to slow down for an afternoon, they can have a relaxing romantic spa experience. So that's probably my favorite Italy trip that I've built this year. And I think doing it in the fall is just such a different vibe than, most of my Italy clients are going literally next month. So
yes. So I am Italian. That's my background. So my Italian family. So the older cousins, there's 20 couples that go every 4 years and they pick a different spot in Italy and they rent a giant house and have a private chef. And it's a big one. And so anyway, I'm the next generation of it. So we'll see if it carries on. But when I was in college, I studied abroad in Florence and I did this very random experience, but it is still my favorite one. So I'm just curious if anybody still does this.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, let me hear.
So we took a sailboating trip that was overnight. I think it was 2 nights. And we went out to Elba Island where Napoleon was exiled. And it was so much fun. Like, we had this little tiny sailboat that I still to this day have no idea how we fit that many people on there. And we cooked and we went out there and like the water was insane. And I was like, this is where Napoleon had to get kicked out to. Like, are you kidding me? This place is beautiful.
This is a paradise. What's happening?
This is paradise. So does anyone still go to Elba Island? And I was like, is this even on your radar?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, no. But I'm already brainstorming a product for you that I really want to sell to you now based on this experience that you had. I'm like, wow, she'd be great fit for this.
Should be great for this.
I know. Yeah. No, that is so fun. Now I'm going to have to go check out Project Expedition and see if they have a boat tour to Elba. That would be so interesting. I've never sold it.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, there you go. There's a fun thing. And it was curated from like college that I went to. They give you like a list of things and then you can go and pick from it. So, and I did it by myself, knowing no one on a sailboat with people I did not know.
Honestly, that's the best.
It was really cool. So anyway, that's like my throwback there. Every sales leader has good intentions of doing call review, but it actually never happens. You have this sense of guilt as your reps wait to get your feedback. So you randomly grab a 30-second snippet of a call and feel good about yourself. Yet it doesn't actually solve the problem. It just tells your reps you checked it off your to-do list. This was my life as a sales leader before I discovered Objectionly. Objectionly is an AI software that reviews every sales call to deliver the truth about why more dials aren't turning into set appointments and why more demos aren't ending in a lovely wire transfer. You can see each rep's biggest problems, the moments in every call that it happens, and immediately click into these moments to watch them. Get every sales call scored against your sales script to see what went wrong in every dial or closing call and what needs to be done differently to improve. No more sales call marathons late into the night when numbers are bad to find the issue. No more asking sales reps what their problems are and getting opinions instead of facts. Just clear insights on how the team is doing in seconds without spending hours doing call review. Go ahead and cancel your 3-hour time block on your calendar for call review today, because in the next 5 minutes, you can upload a sales call and immediately see why your reps are losing easy to win deals. If you want this for your sales team, click below and watch a short 3-minute video on how it works and try it out on a free 14-day trial. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about building your business, where you're at right now. It's never easy to build a business. Anybody who thinks I'm going to leave my 9 to 5 to go live a flexible life of being an entrepreneur, it's like, no, that's not how it works. So you will get ultimate autonomy, which is very different than freedom. So I am very autonomy driven. The second somebody tells me I have to do something one certain way, it's like I'm already like out that door going that direction. It's like, it's a problem. So, it's like, just give me autonomy and I will seek guidance when I need it, period. So I'm curious, what is something fundamentally as a successful entrepreneur that you really strongly disagree with, but most people say you have to do it or it has to be this way?
Oh man, I would say in this particular industry, I think that there's a lot of old school ways of selling travel and building your business. I mean, the team model literally didn't even exist. Like, that's something that I invented at my agency, which is not something that's like revolutionary, but it just didn't exist in this industry. And people were constantly being the choke point of their own business. I saw so many agents who were just working themselves to death. Like, they were saying yes to everything because they had to, and they were working all the time. They had no boundaries. And I was like, there has to be a better way. Like, I'm getting to that point, and there just has to be a better way to do this. And once I was able to actually say no to leads that didn't serve me and build a team that could service those in superpowers they had. I mean, I'm awful at selling cruises. I get seasick. Like, I'm the worst. Like, being on a sailboat, like, that kind of gives me anxiety, like, thinking about that, and like, I'm not good at selling that. So I immediately was like, I need someone that can sell cruises on my team. So I don't have to say yes to that lead, but I'm also not saying no. Like, I'm inviting that in to my circle without personally having to pour into that. Because every trip that I say yes to, it's not just click, 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 booked, done. Like, that is not a travel advisor's job. That's a travel agent's job. A travel advisor is to literally follow you every step of the way to ease your anxiety, to prepare you, to make sure that you have your packing guides and your restaurant reservations and all your shore excursions picked out, catered to you, and be on call when you're traveling. Like, that ends up being a 24/7 job. So I think that when true travel advisors really do want to do the best for their clients, they have to learn to say no, and they have to learn to build a team that can say yes to the things you need to say no to. I don't do Hawaii. Like, I don't do Disney, like these are just trips that I don't do well with them. Those aren't my superpowers, but I can bring in other people that it's their superpower. And that's really where I saw my growth. So it was interesting to me is that I grew the most when I was saying no and giving away leads, because then it allowed that path for everyone that was the correct yes to meet me, and I could say yes to them. So I actually more than doubled my own personal sales when I started saying no and giving away leads to my team. Because then that allowed that process it was like a flow that like opened up for the right people. So I think so many people are afraid to say no because they think that's the commission. Like, I have to hold on to it. I need to support my family.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, like, it's weird. It's a weird thing that happens. But the moment you say no to the things you need to say no to and pass those off to trusted people who can do it and perform for those clients in a way you can't, that's just going to open up that pathway. So that's my advice, I guess.
I love that too. And also, like, if we think about it from a business perspective, like if you were, okay, fine, I'll figure out how to sell Disney, right? So then how much more time are you figuring out how to sell Disney, which you're not even excited about? And like Disney is like my worst nightmare. That would be the last thing in the world I would ever want to spend money on, but that's fine. But like
there are a lot of people who do want to spend a lot of money on it.
Oh, I know. I live in Utah where they literally, there's 2 airlines here. There's Breeze Airways and I'm blanking right now on the other one. It'll come to me in a second, but there's 2 small airports. There's Ogden and Provo, and they literally exist to take people, large families, to Disney. And there's even a rumor that Disney and some travel agencies are subsidizing the airline to do these flights because in Utah, the average family size is like 10. So it's like boom, 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 like it's just shuttle to Disney.
Fill it up. Yeah, easy to fill the plane.
It up. I know. And I'm like so grateful for it because I'm not going to Disney, but my family lives in Orange County. And so I get these super cheap flights and everyone's got their bunny ears on or the Mickey Mouse ears. And I'm like, cool, thanks for making this easier for me. Okay. So, there's like all of these funny things. But when you say no to that, like, it's not like, no, I'm never going to make any money off Disney. You're like, let me find the perfect person to be on my team that I can mentor because I know that I'm the best mentor so that people selling Disney aren't just getting a cookie cutter agent experience. They're getting like this experience of a lifetime because I'm really good at finding the people that can do that. So I feel like that is so incredibly powerful and profound. And we all need to be listening to this, right? Because when you waste your superpowers doing things that aren't in alignment, you're literally holding yourself back day after day after day.
Yep. And I'm trying to convince all of my advisors. I think you hit a tipping point, at least in this industry, when you sell about $1 million. When you sell at about $1 million, that's about your tipping point for most, high efficiency people who have systems, all that kind of thing. You can probably handle it on your own at $1 million. Past that, you have to find ways to automate, grow, whether it's assistants, other agents, et cetera. Yeah.
Is there like a standard commission so people could understand, like you hit $1 million, like what does that mean of what a travel agent would make?
It depends on the supplier. So we negotiate different commissions based on our consortium or our agency, how much we bring to them. So for example, our agency doesn't do a lot of Disney, so we're going to make a lower commission. So the lowest commission with Disney is 10%. But some industries like river cruise industries, it's a higher commission. So you might make, one of our top selling products that our agency sells a lot of, we have great partnerships with, we might make 18%. So I would say you're looking at like an average of most people want their yield to be around 11 to 12% in the industry.
Okay, awesome. That's great for people to know who are thinking of like, okay, so for most people, unless it's going to be fun income on the side, what I'm hearing is you have to learn how to scale this business to 2.5, 3 million, 4 million if you want to replace high income earning potential. So if we're realistic, like how long does that take to really build up to that $2.5 to $3 million book of business each year?
I think about 3 years. I think if you really went at it, I think you could do it in 3 years. Now, I have a girl who got to $1 million super fast. She is the X factor. She can literally sell anything to anyone kind of person, Okay. So she's that kind of person. She also travels a ton. So people already associated that with her. It was really easy for her to transition into this business, but she got to $1 million really quickly, maybe like 2 years. And then she's chosen to stay at that because her family is really busy. They do travel a ton. She has 3 teenagers, preteens. She's got to shuttle them around still. And she's like, I'm good. Like I'm good at $1 million. I think she could double, triple if she really wanted to, but it would take a little bit of scaling and just changing the way that she did things with processes. But yeah, I would say 3 years. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's people out there that do it really quick. But again, I think you have to have the proof point. Like so many, and travel takes time. Like you yourself have to go. So many. That's one thing I would ask if you were working with a travel advisor is like, what was the last trip you went on? Because so many travel agents just sit behind a desk and they just book. And that's all they do. But they don't actually go out and experience the product, experience the destination, and understand the nuances of it. That stuff takes time. My young advisor that I just brought on, she's traveling right now, actually experiencing a new thing. And then she's going and experience a new product that actually was a product I had in mind for you. It's a sailing trip in Greece. And, that stuff takes time, we call them FAMs, they're familiarization trips. And that just takes time to build up that your repertoire, even if you're super well traveled, working with specific suppliers and specific products in those destinations.
Well, what I'm hearing though is when you go out and do these FAMs, you called them FAMs, right?
FAMs.
Familiarity. Okay. Yeah. So when you do FAMs though, what a great opportunity to build a huge social media following as you're traveling and you're experiencing. So it's like you're going on this trip, but you're also then building your following. Then you can reach out to your family and friends and say, look at this cool thing I did. I really like that, to have these experts in certain areas that are so familiar with the products or the experiences or whatever it can be, because you don't know what you don't know sometimes, right? Actually, a lot of times, right? So I remember when I was getting back into horseback riding, it's simple, but it's not to tack a horse. So tacking just means to put all the equipment on. And it took me, and I'm smart, I catch on quickly, but it probably took me like 50 rides to figure out my style of the girth that I wanted to tie, like which one I wanted to do and which one was the easiest for me, which one I felt like I could get the tightest. And, now I have like a lot of preferences around what saddle or what girth or what style. And if somebody had asked me about, I know this isn't an experience, but someone's like, oh, what kind of saddle do you like a year ago? I would be like, I don't know what I don't know. Now I'm like, this.
Yep. That
so
is
it's
so
the same
true.
thing.
Yes,
and
it's exactly the same.
I also feel those nuances. Like AI is not going to tell you, oh, Michelle, you're going to like a cowboy tie better. No, right? So it also allows us to stay connected in the selling process, the experience process, and those nuances are still so valuable for people.
Yes, absolutely. And it really does. There is constantly change. I mean, every single day, there's a new product hitting the market. There's a different way that they're advertising themselves. There's, a development. There's an upgrade. It is mind-boggling in this industry how everything moves so quickly. And I know that's in any industry, I guess, but because we have the whole world that we have to service, you're constantly just like, oh my God. So you do have to kind of niche down or figure out your good partners in different areas that you don't know as well.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, we're coming towards the end of the interview. So this is my question that I ask every single one of my guests. What is the most rascal thing that you have ever done in business? And that just means something you've disrupted, you broke rules, or innovated in a way that others did not.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it a couple of times on here, but it was definitely building a team. And it was making sure that I was, my boss told me in the beginning, she said, there are so many people in this industry that are really bad, and you just have to be a little bit better than them to stand out. And it's kind of shocking how true that is. I always tell people I really didn't do anything special. I just showed up really consistently. And that's so boring. I know, but this is God, that's not rascal at all now that I'm thinking about it. But I'm like, but so many people just weren't doing it. So many people were not showing up consistently. And because of that consistency of just being relentless and being unafraid. I mean, I think experiencing COVID and literally having my whole business burned to the ground, I was like, screw it. Literally, you cannot phase me at this point. I had newborn, I lost my whole business. It literally burned to the ground, and I'm building this back from the ashes. I kind of wanted to cuss there, but I wasn't going to. But it's and you were just very fearless in that. Once you've failed completely, you're completely unafraid because I've already lost it all to no fault of my own, but I've already lost it all. So what's going to hurt to just keep showing up consistently and being relentless in this dream that I have? And that's really what paid off, because so many people honestly, a lot of people half-ass this job. A lot of people do. And
most people just do that in all of life, right? So it's, I've been I've been doing this business thing, my own business thing for like a decade now. And I still remember when I quit my like multi-six-figure benefit-driven sales gig, right? And I told my husband I'm starting my own consulting agency. His eyeballs just like came out of his head and he's like, really? Did we want to talk about this? And I was like, nope. And it's once you just say, hands up, and you take the risk and you see what you can do. And also like specifically for yours, after everything crashing down to be able to build it back up, like what is there even to fear anymore? Because if you can create it over and over again, then there's nothing to fear.
There's nothing to fear. Exactly. Like that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, you can just keep evolving, you know, like you can keep evolving and keep adapting. And, you know, it doesn't matter. Our job is reliant so much on the global happenings, we'll say.
Yes, good word.
That are completely out of our control, you know, whether it be natural, political, whatever. Okay. But it's like, it doesn't matter. Like I will continue to evolve. I don't care who's at war with who's, you know, what natural disaster is taking out this destination. Like we pivot. You know, we pivot and we keep moving forward because at the end of the day, I will say this, people are always going to be taking trips. They might be on different budgets. They might be closer to home. They might be in different areas that you haven't thought about selling before. But I think that the impact of COVID especially is like this permanent thing on us now. And you also see millennials who are super experiential coming up with the money. You know, we're the ones who have the money now and we're really driving this as well. So people are not going to stop taking vacations regardless of what happens.
They're absolutely not. And I will say, I think our generation is also the ones that aren't going to wait to retire to spend our money, because I have watched all of my parents' friends, our relatives, and they're in their 60s and 70s. They finally hit the retirement. Their bodies are broken. They have health issues. Different things are happening. I'm like, and I literally every day I remind my husband, we have 20 years of peak us right now. And I rather live a much more conservative retirement than not live when my body can live like this. So let's go do it. And our family's huge on like experiences and doing things together versus, some toy that's going to sit in our basement that's never going to be used. So those are our buying preferences. This was so fun, Allie. Like I could talk to you for like another hour. I can't wait to follow you on Instagram. So I think Instagram is your preferred place for everyone to come find you. So go find Allie at Allie Picture This Travel. And anything else that you would like my audience to take action on, if they're like, oh my gosh, Allie planned my trip, or Allie, I want to talk about joining your team, how can people find you?
Yeah, for sure. Instagram's a perfect place to get all the behind the scenes for sure, especially when I'm traveling. And then AlliePictureThisTravel.com. Go check it out. You can really see my clients' experiences and different people that I've serviced and have worked with them. That's a great place. LinkedIn also is really good, especially if you're wanting to see the side that is more the business side of what it takes to be a travel advisor. I give a lot of advice to other travel advisors there. So,
I absolutely love it. Well, Allie, till next time, everyone out there, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and thanks for being a rascal.
Thanks for listening to Revenue Rascals, where we turn bold ideas into predictable revenue and prove that breaking the rules can still build empires. If you love what you heard, do me a favor. Tap the links in the show notes to support our sponsors. They're the ones keeping this show free so I can keep ungating the six-figure strategies that help you scale faster, lead smarter, and take more freedom home with you. And hey, if you think you'd make an incredible guest or know someone who's built something worth studying, email me at hello@michelleterpster.com. And until next time, stay sharp, stay bold, and stay just a little bit rascal.